When Matthew awoke the next morning, the cave was filled with soft amber light drifting in from the entrance. The faint warmth of the rising sun brushed the stone walls, making the natural red of the sandstone glow like a quiet flame. For a moment, he simply lay still, listening. He heard nothing. Not silence as the modern world knew it, full of hidden hums, distant engines, electronic ghosts, but true silence, so complete that he could hear the soft rhythm of his own breath. It unnerved him. It fascinated him. It slowed him. Abba Elias was seated near the entrance, facing the desert. His back was straight, hands resting loosely on his knees, as still as an ancient statue carved from the earth. Matthew sat up, rubbing his eyes. "How long have you been sitting there?" "Long enough," the monk said without turning. "For what?" Matthew asked. "To hear the morning arrive." Matthew blinked. "You can hear that?" Elias finally looked over his shoulder, his eyes warm with quiet humor. "Of course. But you are not used to listening." "Not with the heart." Matthew tried to stand, his legs stiff but stable. He stepped toward the entrance and froze. Before him stretched the desert, endless, majestic, terrifying, and beautiful. The early sun cast long shadows across the dunes, the mountains rising like ancient guardians. How could a place so empty feel so full? Matthew whispered. Abba Elias smiled. The desert is full because it is not crowded. When the noise of the world leaves, you can hear what remains. Matthew exhaled slowly. "You live here alone?" "I am alone, but I am never lonely," Elias replied. "Solitude is not the absence of people, it is the presence of God." Matthew sat beside him, still taking in the vastness before them. "Back home, I barely had a moment to breathe. I woke up exhausted, worked all day, came home exhausted, and then tried to sleep but couldn't. My mind felt like a machine that never shut off." "And now?" Elias asked gently. Matthew considered. "Quiet scares me. I feel like the moment everything gets still, all the things I've been avoiding come rushing to the surface." Elias nodded. "The cave of the heart must be entered slowly. Stillness is not punishment, it is invitation." Matthew frowned. "Invitation to what?" "To meet the truth you have buried beneath activity and fear." Elias rose, motioning for Matthew to follow. They walked deeper into the cave's interior, where an alcove held several old scrolls and a simple wooden cross. The air grew cooler, heavier with history. "This place was carved by monks nearly 12 centuries ago," Elias said. "They sought a silence that would allow them to hear God more clearly." Matthew touched the rough wall. "And did they?" "Only those who were willing to stay." Elias knelt and traced a small cross over the floor. "Sit," he said gently. Matthew obeyed. "Now, close your eyes." Matthew hesitated. "What if I don't like what I find in there?" "Then you will bring it into the light," Elias replied. "Fear grows in hiding. But in the presence of God, even the darkest chambers of the heart become places of healing." Matthew closed his eyes. At first, all he felt was resistance. His mind scrambled for distraction, memories of unfinished tasks, conversations, regrets, imaginary scenarios, anxieties he had carried for years. The silence made them louder. His breathing quickened. "It's too much," Matthew muttered. "It is only the beginning," Elias said softly. "Let your breath settle." Matthew tried again. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. He felt the coolness of the cave air on his skin. He heard his heartbeat, faint, steady, like a distant drum guiding him home. The chaos in his mind loosened, threads slowly unraveling. Abba Elias? Matthew whispered. Yes, my son. Why do I feel like I've been running from myself for so long? The monk's voice lowered to a whisper. Because you were afraid you would find emptiness. But God did not create you empty. He created you with a purpose. Stillness is how you rediscover it. Matthew opened his eyes. But what if I fail again? You will fail many times, Elias said simply. Failure is the path of the humble. What matters is that you learn to walk again, this time not by your own strength. Matthew swallowed hard. I don't know how. Elias rested a hand on his shoulder. You will. The desert is patient. They returned to the entrance and stepped outside. The day had fully broken now. Golden light poured over the red cliffs of Wadi, transforming the world into a living painting. Matthew felt something loosen in him, something small but real. As if a knot he had carried for years had finally been untied. Abba Elias, Matthew said quietly. Yes? Why did you take me in? The monk looked at him, eyes deep with compassion. Because God brought you to my door. And because every soul deserves a place where its burdens may fall to the ground. Matthew felt heat rise behind his eyes. He inhaled deeply, letting the desert air fill his lungs. Stillness did not feel so frightening now. It felt like the beginning.